Jesus the Firstborn. The profound meaning behind two titles. When studying the New Testament, we encounter two remarkable titles attributed to Jesus: the Firstborn of All Creation and the Firstborn from the Dead. While these expressions may seem similar at first glance, they point to distinct and profound aspects of Christ's identity. Let's explore their differences and meanings to highlight the richness behind these terms. Firstborn of all creation, the sovereign over everything. In Colossians 1:15-17, the Apostle Paul writes that Jesus is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. To understand this correctly, it's important not to fall into the trap of thinking Paul is saying that Jesus was the first created being. On the contrary, the title firstborn here points to something far more magnificent: the preeminence and the role of authority that Jesus holds over the universe. In Jewish tradition, the firstborn had special rights and honors. He was the heir of the family and received a larger portion of the inheritance, symbolizing his position of prominence. When Paul refers to Jesus as the firstborn of all creation, he is highlighting the fact that Jesus is sovereign over everything that exists. He is the heir and Lord of creation, not because he is a part of it, but because all things were created through him and for him. Thus, the title Firstborn reveals that Jesus is the creator, not the creature, placing Christ above all creation, with total authority over it. Firstborn from the dead, the first of the new creation. In Colossians 1:18 and Revelation 1:5, we find another special title. Jesus is called the firstborn from the dead. This title refers to a foundational event for the Christian faith, the resurrection of Jesus. But what exactly does this mean? The resurrection of Jesus was unique. Although there were other resurrections in the Bible, such as Lazarus, all those who were raised eventually died again. Jesus, however, was the first to defeat death permanently, rising never to die again. He thus inaugurated a new era, the era of eternal life. His victory over death is the central point of Christian hope, because it is through his resurrection that we are guaranteed the same hope of eternal life. Being the firstborn from the dead, therefore means that Jesus was the first to rise to new life, paving the way for all who believe in him. He is the beginning of a new creation, the first of a redeemed and transformed humanity. Uniting the titles. The supremacy of Christ. These two titles, Firstborn of all creation and Firstborn from the dead, reveal two essential truths. Jesus is supreme over the world we know, and he is also the first of the new creation, the one who opened the way to eternal life. In the first title, we see Jesus as the sovereign Lord over the cosmos. In the second, we see him as the one who triumphs over death and offers the promise of renewal. Thus, Christ holds the place of honor in both the original creation and the new creation. He is the beginning and the end, the Creator and the Redeemer, the Alpha and the Omega. In summary, when we reflect on Jesus as the firstborn of all creation, we are affirming his authority over everything that exists, and when we recognize him as the firstborn from the dead, we celebrate his victory over death and his leadership in the new creation, where eternal life is possible for all. These titles help us see Christ's centrality in God's plan, both in creation and in redemption, and invite us to trust in the power and authority of the one who is the beginning of all things and the author of new life.